Hi, my name is Lori Weaver, and I will be presenting to you a proposal to study a way to engage communities in problem solving through online communities of inquiry. Community engagement and participation play a fundamental role in determining equitable and democratic solutions to complex problems that communities face, basically making sure it's not only one voice being heard. Unfortunately, many barriers prevent people from participating face to face. Many of these barriers would not inhibit participation if a mix of online and face to face public engagement methods were used. However, community engagement toolkits do not include collaborative online community engagement methods. This impacts one of the university's initiatives, Opening the Exchange Lab, which is meant to enable inclusive, community-driven research. Communities of inquiry have frequently been employed within education to allow a group to learn and problem solve meaningfully. This research proposes studying how the communities of inquiry framework could be used to develop meaningful online community engagement. The primary framework for this research is the community of inquiry model, which consists of three overlapping elements: social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence. Importantly, these overlapping presences set the climate for positive learning, create a supporting discourse, and enable collaborative content selection. This framework has been applied in many studies to design online learning experiences and to access online courses. As you can see, these four studies have looked at assessment and design of small and very large courses. The studies found that the community of inquiry framework enhanced students' problem-solving abilities, was present in successful courses, increased student engagement, and resulted in high student satisfaction. Although this research is only a sampling of the ways the community of inquiry framework has been applied in online learning, it demonstrates the benefit of using the framework for design and assessment. Despite these benefits, literature cannot be located on using the framework outside of the learning context, which brings us to the research questions. First, what are the perspectives of community organization representatives of the relevance, realism, innovation, and detail of solutions developed through an online community of inquiry and through in-person facilitated workshops? And secondly, what were the experiences of the community members participating in online community of inquiry framework related to accommodation, inclusivity, sense of accomplishment, and acknowledgement? The thesis project itself will be accomplished in 4 phases: thesis proposal, ethics approval, research, and thesis writing. First, the thesis proposal phase, which involves creation and approval of the thesis proposal by the thesis committee by the end of April next year. This approval is contingent on ethics approval. Requests for ethics approval will be submitted no later than 20th of March to ensure ethics approval prior to the end of April. Although there are numerous ethical issues to consider, the research study addresses and mitigates many of these. It ensures inclusion by recruiting using multiple methods, creating an online presence that is accessible, as well as providing fair compensation. Confidentiality will be protected by giving people the option of participating in online experience anonymously and by collecting and storing data anonymously. To make sure that the participants experience constructive dialogue, ground rules will be set at the beginning of sessions, discussions will be facilitated, and participants will be given the option of participating anonymously. These mitigations will reduce the risk of bullying or disrespectful behavior. Voluntary consent will be obtained from participants or from an authorized third party. Consent will be viewed as ongoing and will be explained in plain language verbally as well as provided in written form. Following the ethics and proposal approval, research will be conducted. Participants will be recruited from the Kamloops area for either a 2-hour in-person facilitated experience at the Exchange Lab in Kamloops or an online community of inquiry facilitated experience, followed by an interview, which will take place either online, in person, or over the phone. After conducting and analyzing the research, I will prepare my thesis with the goal of defending on the 11th of December. Now that we have described what we'll be investigating and when we'll be doing it, we're going to talk about how this is going to happen. As our goal is to solve a problem, a lack of collaborative community engagement options, action research design will be used. This will enable the researcher, myself, to participate as a facilitator, as well as allowing the online experience to be modified during the research to best support inclusion. The goal will be to recruit 12 participants for online and 12 participants for in-person, using social media recruitment through community and religious organizations and paper flyers. Each method will have 2 groups of 6 people who will be assigned randomly to their group. Demographic information will be collected for reporting purposes, but will not be used in recruitment nor in group assignment. All participants will work in their groups to develop solutions to their community problems. In addition to demographic data, data will be collected and analyzed in 4 ways. First of all, to ensure the online community of inquiry experience is a good reflection of the model, the Community of Inquiry Survey, a standardized validated survey, will be completed by all online participants. To fit the community engagement context, some terminology will be modified. Data will be presented to show the mean responses for each of the 3 presences. Secondly, participants in the online community of inquiry will participate in a semi-structured interview to express their perspectives related to online experiences. Participation data, such as comments, questions, and resources accessed through the online portal, will be examined to support interview comments and the community of inquiry survey. Finally, the community organization searching for solutions to a problem will review the solutions that participants developed and will provide their impressions. Semi-structured interview results and online participation data will be analyzed using thematic analysis with a combination of a priori and grounded theory codes. As the core of this research will be qualitative in nature, the research design must support the internal and external validity of the research. The internal validity is supported through triangulation. Multiple people will be interviewed, and participant data will be used to support interview transcripts. Also, study participants will be asked to review and provide feedback to the study's conclusions to enhance confirmability. A statement of my experiences, assumptions, and biases, which will be presented as part of the study, which will enable readers to understand how these may affect my interpretation of the data. I will thoroughly document procedures, decisions, and data collection to be used as an audit trail. This documentation, accompanied by rich description, will support readers of the study determining if the framework might be useful in their situation. This description will include a comparison of the community of engagement workshops to typical community engagement practices, which Merriam terms modal comparison. If the community of inquiry framework is demonstrated to be successful, organizations completing public engagement will have a way to more meaningfully engage the public in an online collaborative learning and problem-solving process. This will in turn enable inclusion of community members previously inhibited from meaningful community engagement. Unfortunately, there's also limitations to the proposed study, mostly due to the need to bound the study in terms of time and money involved. Because only one community problem is being examined in one particular setting, readers will need to determine themselves if they feel the approach would be applicable to their situation. Size is also definitely a constraint, as only 4 groups will be used, only 4 solutions will be produced, which means they can't be assessed quantitatively. Additionally, as the experience is only 2 hours long, participants may not develop feelings of inclusion or a sense of accomplishment in this short period of time. It also detracts from the internal validity of the study, as the researcher will only be engaged for a short period of time. Thank you very much for your time and attention.